So MJF had a interview this week and with Sports Illustrated, and he talked about a lot of the stuff about his lifestyle in Long Island and all that stuff. And but he really didn't talk much about wrestling, but he did mention a couple of things about his contract, about his thoughts of CM Punk going to WWE, and other stuff. Also, we're gonna go through Mercedes Moné. Is she coming to WWE or TNA? Because that has been the talk of the town. If you're going to talk about that, so we're going to talk about that and much more on the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. Let's get this.
Is the moment we've all been waiting for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Welcome to another episode of the Chokeslam Wrestling Report. I am your host, the infamous Ultimate One, and we are live on YouTube, on Twitch, and on Facebook. Now, I was on an hour ago, but due to audio difficulties, and I was sounding like a damn robot, I had to do this all over again. Luckily, that I was only 3 or 4 minutes into it. So let's talk about this subject. MJF had an interview with Sports Illustrated this week. In the beginning of that interview, he talked about his favorite restaurants, him being from Long Island, him being inducted into the Jewish Hall of Fame. So he spoke a lot about his heritage, what he thought about the hate against Jewish people. But once the interviewer, I don't remember his name, so don't ask me, started talking about pro wrestling, there was a really interesting part where he talked about about his contract. He mentioned that he is not signed with AEW. Now, everybody thought during the summer that once the Elite signed with AEW and renew their contract, everybody thought that MJF also signed because there was rumors going around that he already had signed. He re-signed with AEW due to the fact that he wasn't mentioning the bidding war for 2024. He always was mentioning that through his promos in AEW, and he didn't really talk about that during this whole thing during the summer with him and Adam Cole. He stopped talking about it much and whatnot. So everybody thought that he signed. I thought he signed, but he kept it quiet. But surprise, surprise, he has not signed with AEW. Now, what does this mean? I mean, we know for a fact he is the world champion. He is the AEW world champion. We know for a fact that he's hurt. He even mentioned it in the interview. He has a torn labrum. Now, what does this do for him in his match? I don't know. I mean, he could be doing what Cody Rhodes did. He wrestled with a torn labrum against Seth Rollins, and you saw the black and blue on his chest. Is he doing the same thing? Now, is he losing the belt to Samoa Joe and whatnot? Now, this whole thing with the devil has been heating up with who is behind the mask of the devil during we saw it this week. Now, of course, I don't know what the hell people were doing this week, but then again, this is the holiday season and a lot of people may be traveling, but AEW's rating went down to 740 something. And it's this time of the year, you gotta expect it, even though they are suffering because they can't get past that 900 to 1 million. But that's besides the point. The bottom line is what's going to happen at World's End. There's a lot of questions when it comes to this pay-per-view coming up. As you guys know, also the Kenny Omega has diverticulitis. I don't know if I said it right, but that's what he has. He's not going to be part of the tag team title match with Big Bill and Ricky Stark along with Jericho. So I don't know if they're going to even defend those belts at World's End, because how can you make it out indefinitely? But this meaningful actually for MJF. Is he leaving AEW? Let's talk about that. I mean, me and Jay Santy spoke about this not long ago, where we said we were talking about AEW and all that stuff. He mentioned something very interesting when he said that he doesn't see him going to WWE because he won't be able to do what he does in AEW, the way he talks, the way, all this stuff. And once Jay told me that, that stood in my head. Is he going to go to AEW, WWE, and be able to do what he does in AEW? Apparently, funny thing is that me and Jay said this about a couple of weeks ago, and here he goes. MJF says that he's able to do whatever he wants to what he's doing, not AEW anywhere else. I doubt it, unless he's just doing kayfabe. But I don't think he'll be able to do that in WWE. Is he going to WWE? We don't know. I mean, and the funny thing is, this is the stuff that happens when somebody says something. Now that he mentioned he's not, he hasn't resigned with AEW. After World's End, that's when everything starts. If you're gonna push him to the next, if he wins at World's End, that means most likely he will resign with AEW, because I think his next challenger will be Warlord, but that depends on how this whole devil thing ends up. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of things going on. I mean, the way AEW is moving the pieces now, you have MJF confront Swerve Strickland this week and whatnot, and Samoa Joe came to help him. And then notice that every time, Samoa Joe did say he's going to protect him, but he's already hurt. What more can you protect him? He's already hurt. So that kind of, it's kind of crazy with that. Is he going to side with WWE? We don't know. I just saw something online where they said about, he's and WWE's not in talks with MJF. Of course, he's not in talk with MJF because he's under contract. That's breaching, and you don't want to get a lawsuit from Tony Khan, because Tony Khan's already in bitch mode because he can't deal with the fact that he's number 2, and he's in his feelings. So if they lose MJF, does this hurt AEW? Let's theoretically speak about that. If they lose MJF, it's not a big deal, and I'm gonna tell you why it's not a big deal, because they got Will Ospreay coming in March. You still got Jay White and whatnot. You still have Swerve Strickland. So those 3 guys that I just mentioned, Strickland, Will Ospreay, and Jay White, could become big as far as heel like and for that world title, But then again, we have that Triple Crown tournament is going on. We don't know who's going to land in that, because now this Wednesday coming up, you got Moxley, Strickland, and Jay White going for the finals for World's End. But now again, where does MJF stand through all this? Is he going to resign? I say he's going to resign. I'm going to put that out there. I feel like he's going to resign. If he leaves, it's because he wants to be with Cody Rhodes. Plus, to top it off, he's gonna have to heal from this injury, and we don't know how long he's gonna be out. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way he's gonna. If he wins, somewhere somehow, now he's gonna have to recuperate somewhere somehow. I don't know what's gonna happen. So it's a lot of stuff. But he did mention, like I said, he's not signed. Another thing he mentioned about CM Punk. He said he wished CM Punk luck in WWE. Goes to show you the guy doesn't have any issues with him. He said it's great for Punk to be in WWE, whatever. But the funny thing is, that was very, very interesting was the fact that automatically, again, and I keep saying that people love jumping the gun without getting the facts. Cody Rhodes mentioned something about one day MJF will be at WWE. People took this little clip of him saying that he's not his contract ends and after World's End or a little bit after that. And took it like, oh well, he's at the World's End, he's gonna lose the belt and then he's gonna go to WWE. This is the problem with what I say the IWC. They jump the gun without knowing the true facts. You jump the gun and then you go online, you go on Twitter, and I had a tirade about this last week. You go online and then you put the wrong information, and then you got other people who you got the trolls that hate AEW so bad that then they go and they twist it around, twist the pot, mix it all up, and just come up with ridiculous stuff that it's not even funny. It's not even funny. So when you see stuff like that, it makes you sit back and be like, do I really want to believe anything that's going on? It's ridiculous. So we'll see what happens. But I know he mentioned, he said, the fans leak out stuff and hate on, they do hate mongery, and it's done by a lot of it by the fans, which is true. A lot of these fans hate AEW. They dying, and it's funny because all I've been hearing for the last 2 weeks about this TV deals and all this stuff, and let me put it this way: 98% of these podcasters and these people, the dirt sheets, they don't know shit about TV deals. Okay, and again, I'm going to say it again. You actually think that Tony Khan doesn't know how to deal with TV deals? The man owns the Jacksonville Jaguars. He owns the Premier League soccer team. I don't know which one it is, but he owns that. His father's a freaking billionaire. You think they don't know how to deal with this? The thing is that everybody wants everything leaked out. They want to know, and then so they can go run to their podcast and just for clickbait. Everything's about clickbait, especially these podcasts that live off these podcasts. This is what they want. They want you to go click. They hear them. Their rhetoric bullshit about wrestling and the people that don't like it, and talk about how bad CM Punk, making CM Punk like he's the god and he's the next Hulk Hogan and all this nonsense. It's crazy. You don't know what to believe anymore. You don't. It's just ridiculous. You don't know what to believe anymore. So I sit around and I just wait for information so I could give it to you guys. You know what I'm saying? I may not be the biggest podcaster there is, but come on, at least I don't come in here and tell you, oh, this is going to happen. Anything can happen in wrestling. Anything. You know what I'm saying? And speak about anything going on in pro wrestling. And the big thing in September, actually almost August or September, whatever it was, almost the ending August was All In. We saw Mercedes Mone in the stand. Everybody's like, oh, she's going to come, whatever. She was supposed to make her debut in AEW at Blood and Guts, but she got hurt. I believe it was in March or in May, something against Willow Nightingale in the tournament for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. And she ended up getting hurt. So AEW was not going to sign Mercedes Mone while she was hurt. Okay. So anyway, let's fast forward now. Mercedes Mone supposedly is ready. WWE decided to go and give Charlotte the biggest contract. We signed her for the biggest contract ever on any, I believe any WWE wrestler, even if it's woman or male. I believe that's what it is. I could be wrong. If anybody is on and they could correct me on that. But here's what happened. They gave her all that money. Now, Sasha or Mercedes Mone is now saying, okay, you want me? You got to pay me higher than Charlotte. Okay. Now, the reports was that AEW and Mercedes Mone were not in, those plans were done. That's supposedly, that's what was going on, with the Dave Meltzers and, PWI insiders and, Ringside News, all this bullshit, all these dirt sheets. So now the word is that she's asking for a lot of money because she feels that she's at the same level as Charlotte. And I think she's at a higher level than Charlotte because Charlotte, even though Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, to me, honestly, is the woman match of the year in WrestleMania. She did well. She almost broke her neck doing it, but it was a great match. But now Charlotte's out for 9 months, or probably longer than that. Now you got to replace her with somebody, because not right now Bailey just re-signed supposedly with WWE. Her contract is done, and it looks like WWE is signing everybody, so they won't have that problem of having, this guy can sign up. But yet, I haven't heard Drew McIntyre getting re-signed, so I don't see McIntyre. He's probably going to leave, and they're probably going to let him go. But Mercedes Moné is asking for a lot of money, and her asking for a lot of money, of course, she's going to be like, you know what? I left because the old man was disrespecting me. I leave. I go to Japan and win the IWGP Women's Championship. And now I'm back. I got hurt, but I'm back. Now, if you don't want to give me the money, I'll go somewhere else. Now, Scott D'Amore is over here talking about he's going to, in January, on, I think, Hard to Kill, they're going to bring in a signing of a big proportion. And if it's Mercedes Moné, she probably is going to wear her feet for a couple of months, then she's going to leave. She's not staying there. She is. You know what I'm saying? So the question is she going to sign with WWE? Is she going to pop out at the Royal Rumble and whatnot? That's remains to be seen. But people like to talk. Like I said, a lot of people like to talk and whatnot. And, make it look like, she's coming to WWE for sure. Well, she's asking for a lot of money. And I mean, it's not like WWE can't give her the money because they have the money, but they just gave a bunch of money to Charlotte. So now you're going to give this woman more money than Charlotte. So WWE dropped the ball on that. I mean, did they? That still remains to be seen. If WWE dropped the ball on that situation, that remains to be seen. Because if she ends up coming in at Royal Rumble, you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. It's crazy. Michael Vasquez, thank you for watching us. It's the Chokeslam Wrestling Report, not the TV report. The Wrestling Report. But thank you for watching anyway. But so the question is it going to be dropped? I mean, if they drop the ball. That's what I meant. So now that's the question. Are they going to give her all this money? Or she could figure, well, I'm not going to get the money. I could go to AEW, but I don't see her going to AEW. And I said this to Jay, and me and Jay were talking about it. The reason I don't see her going to AEW is because, first of all, Tony Khan has not done nothing with that women's division. Nothing. I mean, the only thing good at the whole women's division is Toni Storm with her black and white Marilyn Monroe gimmick, which I love it. You know what I'm saying? I think, and I was talking to a friend of mine at work, and I think this is what they should do. Rampage is only an hour long. How about you grab Rampage and make it an all women's TV show? Yes, everybody's gonna be like, but nobody's gonna watch the TV, whatever. Making a 1 hour TV show, yes, it's at 10 o'clock. Okay. You may not get a lot of people, but come on. You put the woman, you showcase them in 1 hour. You put at least two matches or one match at Dynamite, one match in Collision, and then you got about 10 women you could showcase. Right now, you're only showcasing 2 matches a week or 3. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the best thing they got going on again is Toni Storm and Julia Hart. I forgot Julia Hart with her whole thing, but now Thunder Rosa is back, and now I have a feeling that Thunder Rosa is back, and this may cause even more problems in the women's division. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't trust Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa, I mean, after the whole bullcrap, she became world champion. She didn't want to defend the belt to Toni Storm. She wanted to defend it, and then she came up with this issue. She had back problems, but she was doing all these appearances. Now the question is, but I feel that they should have a whole show for women's wrestling, because Mercedes Moné is not gonna come to freaking AEW the way that women's division is, unless they tell Warner Brothers, look, we're gonna bring in Mercedes Moné. Let's make Rampage an all-women's wrestling show with Mercedes Moné being the top girl in there. That could happen, But I'm just throwing ideas out there. I'm fantasy booking. You know what I'm saying? But we don't know if that's gonna happen. We don't know. We don't know if it's gonna happen. But this whole situation right now, the AEW is going in to 2024 with a lot of questions, with a dark cloud over them, going into their 5th year. Okay, going into the 5th year right now, they are facing a situation with the TV deal. I mean, and before I leave, I just want to make this. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I know Paramount and Warner Brothers are talking about pretty much merging. And if that happens, that's good for AEW because the simple fact, Paramount is in debt when the media is in debt. You know what I'm saying? So, they're not going to go and pay $381 million to Monday Night Raw and whatnot if they don't have the money. They're not going to pay that. And if they, and I know WWE, they're going to be like, well, you want us in your TV? AEW can't be in the channel. So, it's back and forth. Everybody talking about they put CM Punk like the bargaining chip in the middle of all that because he knows somebody in the higher ups or whatever it is. But again, I am not going to be here predicting bullshit. I am not going to be here talking about, well, this is going to happen. We're going to watch and wait and see what happens. We're going to watch and wait. And whatever happens out of all this at the end of the year, with World's End, we'll find out. The fact that MJF right now is not signed, that's a big, big question mark. How are they going to look this time next year, 2024? This time next year, a year from now, are they going to be facing? They may not have a TV channel for them to showcase their shows, or that they already signed. Okay, is Will Ospreay the AEW World Champion? Is MJF still with AEW? You know what I'm saying? That's we're gonna have to find out. We're gonna have to find out. You know what I'm saying? And this is gonna be very interesting. Starting for 2024, and we'll see. So, we'll see. Anyway, guys, if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, I got a podcast store. I got t-shirt, hats, hoodies. Go to TCWR veryimpressive.com. That's TCWR.veryimpressive.com and get your hoodies, your shirts, your hats, and whatnot. Also, guys, follow me again on the also audio podcast. You can follow me there and whatnot. And I have other contents in there, the audio on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple, Amazon Music, and any other audio platforms that you guys like to listen to your shows and whatnot. So next week, with the hope that it happens, because I mean, I figure like, well, we'll see. I'm gonna try to do a year-end review and where we think AEW, WWE, and TNA, all these other promotions are going to be at, and where it's going to be who the wrestling match of the year, wrestler of the year. So I'm going to try to bring in Jay Santy. That's what's the plan that we're going to come in and we're going to do something and talk about it. And when I don't know we're going to go live, most likely we're going to try to go live. So we, how you call it? We could do it that way. But again, thank you for all my subscribers and all my peoples on my YouTube channel. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Hit that notification bell. Hit that thumbs up. It helps the channel greatly and whatnot. And once again, I just want to thank all my subscribers on the YouTube channel. I want to thank all my fans on my audio podcast. And it's been a crazy year. It's been a lot of things to talk about in wrestling. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna see what happens with all this stuff. This time next year, we will see where everything is at. AEW lost their TV deal. Is WWE still running strong with the machine? Is Sasha Banks or Mercedes Mone, as she's known now, will be in WWE? Will she be in AEW? There's a lot of questions. So, but the big thing is that everybody was raising questions because this MJF interview he had. He's not signed. Is he going to sign with AEW again? Or is he going to WWE? I mean, that's a lot of things. But again, do not listen to anybody from Facebook who goes and posts stuff that they grab from these little dirt sheets and whatnot, because there's a lot of them now. Everybody wants to be a journalist. Everybody. And they go and they catch you clickbaiting, and you go in there. Next thing they copy and paste, and now they're going to create their own little page on Facebook, and they're posting a little Facebook page so they could have followers and all this stuff. It's ridiculous. And the only ones that I like listening to and I like my report is Sean Ross Sapp. And Sean Ross Sapp is pretty much on point with most of his stuff. I do not listen to Dave Meltzer because Meltzer is never hardly 98% of the time wrong. He's wrong. So anyway, that is it for me today, guys. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. Again, follow me on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Again, audio podcast. You can follow me on Amazon, Apple, Spotify, any other podcast do you like to listen. So until then, guys, again, thank you for showing up. Merry Christmas and happy holidays. And I will see you guys next week and whatnot. So we'll see what happens coming up, and I'll see you guys soon.